Okay, so starting from today, we are going to talk about the next handout, hypothesis test for mean. This is a very important topic in statistics. So I hope you guys could really pay attention to it and understand it well. If you guys still remember at the very beginning of this semester, we have talked about the process of data analysis. So the first step is you identify the research question, then you create a plan for data collection, and then we collect data. We talked about those in experimental design. If you guys still remember that, that seems like a long time ago. Ooh, that's another word when we were talking about experimental design, but that's what we are talking about, how to collect data and how to create a plan for data collection. Then we talked about some basic, summarization of data using table, using graph. Then the next is apply tools of inference. In the last outline, we have talked about confidence intervals, right? If you guys still remember, confidence intervals is we try to use an interval estimation of the population parameter. That is, we are giving the population parameter a range for its estimation instead of just one single point. Now, in this outline, we are going to talk about hypothesis test, which we use to confirm or we use to not confirm a specific hypothesis about the population. Of course, the last step is make conclusions about the research question. So here is a motivating example. Since I'm recording the lecture, I would like you guys to pause here for a while and read this example before you continue. I'm sorry for the cough. Okay, so in this motivating example, I bought a half-cup blend of coffee, but I'm still sleepy. So I suspect that the mean caffeine content is less than 60 milligrams. So what do I need to do to confirm or not confirm about my hypothesis? So I take a random sample of 10 cups of coffee from the blend and find the mean caffeine content is 58.5 milligram. And this is indeed less than 60 milligram. But the question is, does that mean that the true population mean caffeine content in a cup of half cup is really less than 60 milligram? This 58.5 that I got from my sample is just happening by chance. You guys know that every time you collect the sample, you will have a different sample mean, right? So this sample mean will differ from sample to sample. It is also possible that this 58.5 is just, happening by a random chance. You just happen to collect a sample with the sample mean equals to 58.5, while the true population mean is actually still 60 milligram. So how do we answer this question? That is the question that we are going to answer in this outline. How do we know this is happening by chance or this is truly indicating that I'm not getting enough caffeine in my cup of half cup? So in order to answer this question, we will need the information we have talked about the behavior of the sample means. Do you guys still remember where we talked about that? Yeah, we talked about that in the sampling distribution topic, right? So we have talked about the behavior of the sample means by the sampling distribution of sample means. So even though each time we collect a sample, we will have a different sample means, but there is a certain behavior of all those sample means. And we would use that knowledge about the behavior of sample means of sample equals to of sample size equals to 10 to determine whether this result of 58.5 milligram as our sample mean is happening by chance, or is this something just or it's indicating something is not right here. So that is the idea of statistical significance. So if the results of a study are statistical significant, it indicates that they were not likely to have occurred just by random chance, which means it is very likely something other than chance is happening. So this means something other than the chance is happening. So our goal of hypothesis test is to determine the statistical significance using what we know about the sampling distribution. Okay. In your Moodle, I also shared a PowerPoint. So if you want to take a look at it, that is a funny explanation of what is statistical significance.